Hey, this is Michael, the God of Kitchens, and welcome back to another episode of our baking bread series. So what we're going to do today is a different type of rye mix bread that's very typical for Germany. We're going to do this today with two kinds of flour. First of all, dark rye flour. Yes, I've gone upwards in my ordering size from Baker's Authority, and we're going to do the main part of this with the rye flour, and we're going to have two variations of our recipe, one with regular all-purpose flour and another one with whole grain flour as well. So all we need today is we want to get our sourdough starter ready. So we will need, first of all, our scale. As usual, set it to grams. We want to start with 175 grams of warm water. And then we want to add 20 grams of our beautiful sourdough that we all have in the refrigerator. So 20 grams of that. Okay. And then 175 grams of the rye flour. So we will mix this up nice and evenly, very slow. So once we're done with our sourdough starter, we will cover this up and leave this at a warm place. I'm going to use our Miele oven proving function today, so I can set it at directly 30 degrees Celsius and let this rest for 13 hours. And let's see what this looks like when we come back. So the next thing we're going to do for our mixed bread is we are going to make a pre-dough with the wheat portion of the recipe. What we want to do here is we want to take, first of all, 200 grams of regular flour. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the yeast that we made ourselves. I just kept it in the fridge. I used about a teaspoon of it. So just put this in here. And very important, we will need 170 grams of warm water. This is crucial that this is actually warm water at 30 degrees Celsius, so about hand warm, a little less. And we want to have 170 grams. So and we want to mix this all together very carefully. Make sure that the yeast dissolves nicely. Make sure that this is all nice and even, creamy base. And this is it. We're gonna leave this in our warm place, or in my case, what I'm doing today is I'm going to proof it in the oven for about an hour. If you can, have the temperature a little higher. I am doing this at 30 degrees Celsius today, again for 1 hour, and then we'll come back. And as alternative to our regular flour, I am going to also try this with the Baker's Authority stone ground fine whole wheat flour. So let's give this a try. Again, we need 200 grams of the flour. So let me open this up. As you can see, we are now buying bulk as we are baking a lot more. So like I said, we need 200 grams. There we go. Then we want to add our yeast. Again, I'm using the yeast that I have replicated myself, with also the recipe that I'm gonna link below the information. And yeah, just take this out of your freezer, add this to your mixture. And of course, let's not forget about our water, our 170 grams of water. Warm water, very important. Again, this is at 30 degrees Celsius. I also kept this in the oven, so I got the temperature perfect. All right, very well. And we're gonna mix this all together. So it's dissolved. Make sure that your yeast dissolves nicely. Since the whole grain flour is of course taking a little bit more in. But just make sure it's nice and smooth. And once this is all even and creamy, we will also have this proofing for 1 hour in our warm area. Again, I am going to do this in the Miele oven with the proofing function, which is phenomenal. Then I basically set it to 30 degrees Celsius and just let it rest there for 1 hour. So this is how it looks like. And yeah, let's set this in the oven and come back in about 1 hour. So after about 1 hour of proofing the wheat part, we want to get this out of our warm place, or the oven in my case. So let's see how this looks like. See, nice and bubbly, very good. And I also took the dough that we made yesterday, the sourdough partition right here, out of our warm spot. And what we'll do here is we need to add 2 more ingredients. This is basically 150 grams of more rye flour and 10 grams of salt. That's really it. So the first thing that we want to do is we will mix the salt and the rye flour together. So this is nice and mixed up. Now we want to give this all into our mixing bowl. So what we'll do is add the, here so you can see it a little better, add our wheat dough. Alright, everything in here. And then of course add our, see how what is this? You will see that the rye flour, of course, from yesterday, the sourdough is a little, rougher. So start to mix this up like this. Add your flour and your salt. And for the rest, I will use our machine. And give this a good mix of 3 minutes. Right here in the machine. And let's give this a good 3 minutes. In the meantime, I'm enjoying a little coffee here. I have Guatemalan mix today. And while this is mixing, we can already prepare our working surface. First of all, I am going to use my proofing baskets here today. Basically, you want to flour up the working surface a little bit. I am using the same rye flour like the recipe. And we're going to do the same thing with the proofing baskets in a couple of minutes here. So now we have our finished dough. We'll take it out. It's going to something like this. And we will get this out of the bowl. You will see that it's a lot stickier than all the other things we made so far. And we will. Okay, so we got our dough right here, so we want to get this in a nice round shape. Now, as this is super sticky today, we want to kind of tuck it underneath. And up here. Okay, And since our proofing baskets have an oval shape, we want to start already working this into a nice oval form. Okay, once we have this in our shape here, I want to compare it in what basket it's going to go in. I'm actually going to try the smaller basket today, so be sure to give this a good layer of flour. Then just sit nice and gently into the shape you like. And we will get this some rest, so about 2 hours in our proofing room. Again, I'm going to use my oven. And of course, as an alternative, what we want to try today is to do the same thing with our whole wheat flour. So I got this out of the oven, and I got our sourdough. So we're going to do the following. We will first of all mix together our 10 grams of salt and rye flour. And since I want to vary the recipe a little bit, I'm going to use 6 grams of breadspice that I'm also going to add right here. I'm just going to loosely mix it out together with a spoon. And again, for the breadspice, you can find the recipe down below in the info section. We made a separate video for that. Very well, so we will start with our sourdough from yesterday. And you can see it's nice and very nice and fluffy today. It's wonderful, it smells really good too. And then we will add our whole wheat. Make sure that we had proofing for 1 hour. Right here. And then of course we have our flour, spice and salt mixture, 150 grams. And we will mix this a good 3 minutes. This looks like. Really nice. This here, nice. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to flour up your work surface. Really important, so nothing is too sticky. I'm also using the same rye flour, by the way. And now take your spatula, get this out of the mixing bowl. And you can see that today the dough is a lot more sticky than other recipes, but don't be afraid of that. So what you want to do is you want to bring this into form and shape. I want to try to get this in my proofing basket, either way, oval shape or round shape. We'll decide on this in a minute. And then basically, very nice shape here. You want to kind of push this under, form a very nice ball here. Slowly extend it out to an oval shape. It's fitting to this basket here. Okay, now make sure that you got enough flour in your proofing basket. Okay, what we're going to do is just try to make this as even as you can. And just place it here. And now we just cover this up. Let this rest for 2 hours. I'm going to use this with my proofing function in the oven again at 30 degrees Celsius. And yeah, let's see what this looks like in 2 hours. So our dough has been proofing in the oven for about 2 hours. Now we're going to check it out and see how it's doing. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. As you can see, it increased in size wonderfully, beautifully. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our pan, just a little flour there. Then with one good push, you're going to push this down. I want to show you this again. It's very nice and even. So just take this, turn around. Beautiful. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our tool. I recommend using a razor blade. I got this one. I'm going to post a link below. So we're going to make 3 cuts right here. I'm going to make 1, 2, 3. Okay. And let's take this into our oven. Start like this. Going to go to MasterChef, and this again is a Miele combi steam oven. Go to bread. We will do a Rye Mix Bread bake. Okay, I like it very dark, so we're gonna go with the darkest option right here and get started. Start now, and that's it. So this is what our bread looked like when it came out of the oven. We have 2 versions right here. This is the regular one with the all-purpose flour, and this is the alternative one with the whole wheat flour. I am going to cut these later to show you the inside. I highly recommend that you do not cut your bread right away. Wait a couple of hours, at least 2 or 3, to cool off. I like to do this the next day, so you make sure you collect all the humidity inside and it stays nice and juicy for many days. So thank you for watching this recipe, and be sure to subscribe and follow our channel if you like it. Leave me a like or comment. So what should we bake next? Leave me a comment or question below if you have any suggestions, and have a wonderful day.